Welcome to Sauti Mzalendo, where we keep you informed with the stories that matter. We dive into a financial reality that affects every single one of us. Kenya's national debt has skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping 11.02 trillion shillings. Yes, you heard that right. The numbers are in, and they are raising eyebrows and serious concerns. Kenya's National Treasury has confirmed that as of January 2025, our total debt load stands at 11.02 trillion shillings. That's a combination of 5.93 trillion shillings in domestic debt and another 5.09 trillion shillings in foreign debt. If you're wondering what that means, let's break it down. For every shilling collected in revenue, a significant portion goes straight into repaying loans instead of funding development projects, social services, or even job creation. Now, here's where it gets even more alarming. Our debt to GDP ratio is now at 65.7%. What's worrying? The legal limit is 55%, which means we are way above the recommended safety zone. While the government assures us that this is an improvement from the 72% debt ratio recorded earlier, the question remains, how much is too much? According to the Treasury, the goal is to reduce this debt ratio to 55% by the 2028 to 2029 financial year. But here's the big issue. Debt repayment is already eating up over 60% of government revenue. That means out of every 10 shillings the government collects, more than 6 go towards paying off debt, leaving less than 4 shillings for everything else. Salaries, infrastructure, healthcare, education. That's a tough spot to be in, and it gets even more concerning. Projections indicate that by June 2027, Kenya's debt repayment will hit 2.47 trillion shillings per year. That's more than double what we were paying just a few years ago. So the big question is, how do we get out of this debt trap? Members of Parliament have sounded the alarm. They argue that over-reliance on loans to fund budget deficits is sinking the country further into economic uncertainty. The Controller of Budget, Margaret Nyakango, has even called for serious spending cuts to reduce the budget deficit and prevent us from taking more loans just to survive. So, who do we owe all this money to? A large chunk of Kenya's external debt comes from multilateral lenders, institutions like the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. These account for about 55% of our total external loans. We are being taxed left, right, and center, yet we still hear that the country is broke. Where is all this money going? If we are borrowing, let's at least see the impact. Good roads, better hospitals, proper services. But instead, we keep hearing about mismanagement and corruption. Our children will still be paying off these loans long after we are gone. This cycle must end. And that's exactly the concern, my fellow Kenyans. Are we borrowing for the right reasons? Are we getting value for the money borrowed? Or are we simply digging a deeper hole for future generations? One thing is clear, Kenya needs urgent solutions. Whether it's through better tax policies, economic growth strategies, or cutting down on unnecessary spending, something must change. As we wrap up, here's a thought. If the government keeps borrowing, yet life remains difficult for ordinary Kenyans, is this debt really working for us? Or are we just running on financial autopilot, hoping for a miracle? Over to you, Kenya. What do you think? That's it for now on Sauti Mzalendo. Keep the conversation going and stay informed. See you next time.